Homework sheet 9 video solution here. Reasonably quick one, lots of CAS work, so make sure you've got your CAS handy. But let's look at question 1. I've used long division here. You can use synthetic division. Our first step though is to find the factor, and that is by subbing in our factors of 24. So plus minus 1, plus minus 2. I've kind of skipped that step and I've just jumped straight to 2. So when I sub 2 in for x, the result is 0, meaning that x minus 2 is a factor for this cubic. I can then go through my long division. So you've seen this before, there's lots of videos there. Going through all of that long division is 1 mark in this question. And we come out with x equals 2, negative 4, and 3. But any method is our middle mark there. So if you use synthetic or another method, that's fine too. But we've got our x values there. Don't forget to factorize x squared plus x minus 12. Really important that we fully factorize so that we can solve. Question 2, my first step here was to define p of x and making sure that we're putting multiplied signs between a times x to the power 5 and b times x. I've then used the solving system of equations, so menu algebra solve system of equations with two values, a and b being my variables, typing in my values of p negative 1 equals negative 5 and p2 equals negative 65. And it spits out a equaling negative 2 and b equaling 6. Nice and straightforward. We could do some long substitution to solve that, but the CAS makes it a lot easier. It didn't say find b, but I think that might have been covered by our calculator man. Anyway, question 3. The function f of x equals 2x squared plus kx plus 8. Touching the x-axis once, find k. If we're talking about the number of x-intercepts, we are discussing the discriminant, so b squared minus 4ac, subbing in our values of k, 2, and 8, giving us k squared equals 64, or k is plus or minus 8. Must be plus or minus. Both values would work for this function. Question 4, first step is to factorize out negative 2x squared, leaving us with x squared plus 4x plus 3 in the bracket. That can be factorized to x plus 3 and x plus 1, solving to be 0, negative 1, and negative 3. Because we have an x squared outside the bracket, this function would just be touching the x-axis at 0, as you can see in the sketch below. So mark all those points, and because negative 3 and negative 1 would be a bit further apart than negative 1 and 0, our kind of turning point between the two does go quite high, and then just a little one between negative 1 and 0, labeling all of those intercepts as the question stated. Question 5. This wasn't listed as CAS, but really should be. Rational root theorem will always be CAS. Really, you would just type in factor of the function. I defined it. I just wanted to show you what it is like to find the factor that you want to use. But I've just used factor on the CAS calculator to solve this function or to factorize it fully. So use your CAS for that one. If you wanted, you could test 2 over 3 as our x value would result in a 0 when we sub it in, meaning that 3x minus 2 is a factor. This 3 goes out the front and our 2 comes over here, but as negative 2. We always have to flip that sign. But again, I just use the CAS there. Question 6, with the equation 4x cubed plus 8x squared minus 11x plus 3. I've just factorized this, and you can see that we've got our x plus 3, so it's already in the correct form, and then 2x minus 1, meaning that our a value is 2 and our b value is 1. So we factorize that function. You could write factorize and then the function if you wanted a bit extra working, but 2 marks there. Question 7, saw some people making mistakes on this as they worked in class. So x squared plus a, using our null factor law, x squared plus a equals 0. Then we've got x cubed minus b cubed equals 0 and x plus c equals 0. Key feature here is we don't get any solutions for this first bracket. X squared equals negative a. Cannot have any solutions. We cannot do the square root of negative a. So we only get solutions for b and negative c, and that means we get 2 full solutions for this question. So that is it.